in a sense, my experience so far with EzyTRX has been quite different. I think in a very short span of time, I've built some great bonds and what I feel are going to be some fabulous friendships. So, you know, I'm probably going to prove this whole theory wrong, right? That we can actually build or start good friendships this way, you know, electronically from across the seas. Please, you know, whatever you do, please understand what a smart contract is, what it's supposed to be paying you, how it works. You've got to understand it. You've got to know the intricacies of it. You've got to know the rules that are behind the contract, and only then should you go in. And the advantage that you and I have is that every smart contract is completely visible. You can't hide it. You know, you pick up the contract and you can read it, find an IT friend, find an IT company, and then they will tell you exactly what that contract says. And that's the safety that you and I can enjoy. It's only a 10-15 minute discussion I just want to have on the different programs that are out there today. It's kind of a comparison, and as I think the biggest player in the market today is Forsage Tron. And as you know, Forsage was on Ethereum, and they were nearly at 1 million members, and ran into some difficulty with the cost, the gas fee with Ethereum. And so they were forced to create a Tron contract. And as you can expect, because of their size, they will certainly have success. But they are, in the short period of time, which is only 6 months or so, you know, they've become the grandfather business for us to respect and to emulate and to look back on. All we do is we try to look at all the programs that have been run, and we try to make sure we improve on it with a system that is fair for everyone. Lion's share is reasonably new. It's I think just only a few days old. Power of 2 ran into some difficulty at launch, and many of our big members were sitting on the sidelines waiting for Power of 2 because they made their commitment. And you know, I like this thing about the members that we have and the leaders that we have. They keep their word to whoever the creators are for the different programs, and then you know, for whatever reason, if they've shifted, it's got nothing to do with them. It's probably got to do entirely with the actual business itself. One of the lucky things that we've had is that we tested and tested and tested and tested, and we actually were testing on Ethereum, as you know, and we were forced to also make the change. And then we had all of that wealth of testing, which we then applied when we switched to Tron, which gave us the advantage of having a glitch-free launch, which means that nothing happened with the system. You know, nothing went dark, nothing went down, servers ran, and everything everyone was paid as was supposed to be paid in the contract. Please remember, this is a smart contract, which really means that you can't apply one rule for one person. If I were a company, I'd say, well, you know, I want to treat you well and I want to treat you differently. You can't do that in the contract. So if one person is paid, everyone will be paid. This is how the contract works. So if one person doesn't get paid, nobody gets paid. You know, so you can at least rest assured that whatever has been promised will always be delivered. Now, I'm only going to focus on a few points. There are many other more subtle aspects that are different. And maybe during the roundtable you might hear some of them, but I wanted to focus on just a few things, you know, and one of the key differences is on a program like Forsage, and mind you, I'm not trying to run anything down or any of these programs down. I'm a true believer in a smart contract today. As I shared last week, we've all lost enough money. We all know that people that are promising you 10% a day or a month or a week or a year or whatever, you know, simply can't do it, right? And at some point, they are going to get into trouble and they have to close the business. But if you're going to be paying people 50% a day, I think closure is very, very imminent. So, you know, it is a very high risk play if you get involved in something like that. But at the same time, What we're doing is we pay 100% back in. 50% goes immediately to the person that is referring. In Forsage, it is 33% because you get paid 50% on the first person, 50% on the second, and on the third, it gets recycled, it goes up to the upline. So if $3 goes in, you are paid $1. $1 out of $3 is about 33%. So that's how the other programs have been working. That's the significant difference, and why 50% I think is really important. And it doesn't matter, if you recommend your fourth person, your eighth person, your 10th person, you're always going to be getting that 50%. So I like that about what we're doing. I think the other thing that is reasonably important is the fact that you don't earn past your second level. And, I'm talking to people who've got 10,000 downlines, who've got 15,000 downlines. It's all immaterial. It doesn't matter if you're big with 50,000 people. So what? You just don't get paid. After your sixth person or your ninth person, that's it. That's the end of your earnings. And so whether you lose interest or whether you are incentivized to help, the person who's joined at the 80,000th position, whether you're incentivized to help him, that plays a significant difference and affects the longevity of a program. To earn, you have to buy the step. If you don't buy the step, you don't earn. It's as simple as that. And with us, if you don't have the step, it doesn't matter. I mean, we've had some members who said, in developing countries, not everybody can afford the second, third, fourth, fifth step. Certainly not everyone can afford the 10th step. And if that's the case, then what happens in recruiting, you earn nothing. And you've lost all these people that you've brought on the system, right? You sat down with them, you've had a coffee and a tea and a lunch, and you've said, listen, this is the greatest program in the world, and it is. But the sad thing is you've got 1,000 and they put in 2,000 and 5,000 and 10,000 and you've lost them. So this I think is reasonably significant. The fact that with us you never lose the downline. They will forever be with you from the day you sign them up. And I think I like this particularly about this business, and it should be the way. So as soon as you've earned enough. Again, some of them have a cap of 2x, and then you have to upgrade. And here we've given you a 10x cap, which is a lot of margin, so you can build up enough money, enough reserves, and then pick your second, your third, your fifth, your 10th step. So you can do that at your own time and not worry about losing the people that you brought in, because they're valuable, they matter to you. And it also doesn't matter if the person has come in so far down the system that they've picked up a number that says 75,362. It's fine. The whole thing is that this is just, it's rinse and repeat, not in the sense that you sign people up, in the sense that you can build your matrix of 80,000 and they can build a matrix of 80,000, and they can sign other people who can also build a business of 80,000 people. It's fair. And I'm most proud of the clauses, the programming that we put in that allows us this sort of growth, this sort of ability to maintain our relationships. I didn't say this. This was kind of created by Lisa for me, because I said I kind of needed a deck to compare the different programs, and she did a lovely deck. And she called EzyTRX the diamond of matrices. And that's, also because it's Lisa and she loves diamonds, and, so I think it makes sense. But I've left the page in here because I kind of agree. I think this is an awesome program. And it's a great, it's a great template for us to build a business that we want to build. I have to justify why. Obviously, I think it's awesome. And here's the thing, right? As I've said, we're going to be adding on a bunch of leaders that will become part of like a governing structure that will determine the future of EzyTRX for you and for me, because it can't be one person's decision. Never mind the vision, but it cannot be one person's decision. It has to be collectively accepted. It has to be agreed because it is decentralized. It's not for me to shove this down your throat to say, listen, follow what I'm saying and, otherwise bugger off. It can't be that way. So we have to collectively build as a team. And I like this aspect of the business. And one of the unusual things in this matrix is that, we're going to be getting, we sign people up and we get the commissions. And when we sign people up above us get paid. And the people below us recruit more people and we also get paid. We get paid flowing up. Funds are also flowing up and we pay people with funds flowing down. It's a really unusual system. And, whether you want to call it spillover or what have you, I think it's a really wonderful model for all of us. And as I've harped on, and I've said this a little bit in the first few pages, whoever we recruit, whoever has joined us in our team, they stay with us permanently. And we never lose them to another upline, to someone else. We don't lose them in the system. Never mind the fact that no money gets lost. Everything is accounted for. But these people will stay with us, for as long as we're growing the business. And mind you, it is important to understand that, figure out the longevity, how this can grow, how you can grow it. But whoever you recruit must also put the effort in. They also have to grow it. Towards the end of our roundtable, we want to talk a little bit about the future and some of the key changes that we want to be making in the system. So you must stay on. Today is a very important day. It's very important because we're going to share with you how we see the changes or the new implementations that we have to make, how we see it, and how it'll affect you. Because in our minds and in the leaders that are now part of this roundtable and the future members of the governing body, the ultimate focus for us is longevity and making sure that everyone that's part of EzyTRX really does make money and we do it in a fair manner. I read this from Jenny in one of the chats. She casually had written this in explaining the advantages of EzyTRX, and she said, don't you just love how over here when you help your downlines fill their matrix, you're also helping your own matrix fill out, and it's a win-win play for everyone. And Jenny is the person that also reminded me that this system pays down and the system pays up, and it's truly fabulous. So as I promised, I wanted to keep this really short. As I said, today we're going to cover a little bit about the different programs that are out there. And then we wanted to do something unusual. We wanted to get into a round table with a few selected friends. And these are people who are all in on EzyTRX, who have already built up some significant size, who have a vested interest, but who primarily understand the business fully. They know what has been done before. They understand the other contracts because they've been working on it, and now that they're working on EzyTRX, they can share with you what the differences are. And I think that's important because not all of us are experienced, not all of us understand. And don't forget, this is still technical and very highbrow, so not everyone is going to be able to comprehend. So it's good to hear from these different leaders and friends in their own words. Because if you can hear from me every other week, I wanna come on Sundays to tell you how we are doing, give you allow you to have a finger on the pulse, tell you what the changes might be, if any, whether we're healthy, whether we're not, because it's important. We don't want to hide anything. And again, we can't, right? Because everybody can see everything. It's fully transparent. But at the same time, today I wanted to hand over a little bit of the spotlight to everyone else that is like you, people who are building the business. And I think it's important to hear from them, to see what they have to say, to tell you about their experiences, not just with EzyTRX, but with all the other programs that they've run, and why, what was good, what was not good, why they're here today. I think you and I want to hear that. I'm really keen to hear from them. So I won't take up too much more of your time.